Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. We are from Group T. Today we are going to discuss about grammar. But firstly, I would like to introduce my team who will speak in this occasion. First, my name is Alfiran Ratia, and here we have Nisa Faiza, Nunuk Mulyani, Rida Ardia, Siti Fatima Zahra, and Vina Anggraina. Now my friend Vina will explain to us about what grammar is.
Okay, now I will explain about grammar. What is grammar? In linguistics, grammar is the set of structural rules governing the composition of clauses, phrases, and words in a natural language. The term grammar can also describe the which govern the linguistic behavior of a group of speakers. For example, the term English grammar may refer to the whole of English grammar. In this video, we will explain about basic grammar. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Vina. And now we have simple present tense. My friend Unuk Mulyani will explain to us about what it is.
Okay, simple present tense. The simple present tense in English is used to describe an action that is regular, true, or normal. Verb, conjunction, and spelling. We form the present tense using the base form of the infinitive without the to. In general, in the third person, we add s on the end of the verb. So the formula is subject plus verb 1 plus the rest of the sentence. Subject I, you, we, they. Example verb speak or learn. The rest of the sentence English at home. So if we make a sentence, I speak English at home. Subject he, she, it. Example verb speak or learn. So we add s on the end of the verb. The rest of the sentence English at home. So if we make a sentence, she learns English at home. Another example. I take the train to the office. Subject is I. Verb 1 is take the train to the office is the rest of the sentence. They travel to their country house every weekend. Subject is they. Verb 1 is travel to their country house every weekend is the rest of the sentence. Next. Negative sentence in the simple present tense. To make a negative sentence in English, we usually use don't or doesn't with all verbs except to be and modal verbs can, might, shall. So, in a negative sentence, we normally use negative contraction. Don't is same. Do not. Doesn't. Does not. I don't like meat. I do not like meat. There is no difference in meaning, so we normally use contraction in spoken English. So the formula is subject plus to be, don't or doesn't plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. The subject is I, you, we, they. To be is don't plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. But if subject is he, she, it, the to be is doesn't plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. Example, you don't speak Arabic. Subject is you, to be is don't, speak is verb, Arabic is the rest of the sentence. John doesn't speak Italian. Subject is John, to be is doesn't, verb is speak Italian is the rest of the sentence. Next. Word order of question with do and does. The following is the word order the contract a basic question in English using do or does. So if our want to make a question sentence, the to be in the front of the sentence. To be is do or does. To be do if subject is I, you, we, they plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. But if to be is the subject is he, she, it plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. Example. Do you need a dictionary? To be is to, subject is you, need a verb, a dictionary is the rest of the sentence. Does Mary need a dictionary? Does is to be, subject is Mary, need is verb, a dictionary is the rest of the sentence. Next. short answer with do and does. So earlier we learned about how to ask question sentence, and now how to answer them. In question that use do or does, it is possible to give short answer to direct question as follows. So example question. Do you like chocolate? So the short answer for affirmative is yes, I do. But short answer for negative is no, I don't. Do I need a pencil? Short answer for affirmative is yes, you do. The short answer for negative, no, you don't. However, if a question word such as who, when, where, why, which, or how is used in the question, you cannot use the short answer above the response to the question. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Nunu. And then here we have simple past tense. What is it? My friend Nisa Faiza will explain to us about it.
Okay, simple past tense. The simple past tense, sometimes called the preterite, is used to talk about a complete action in a time before now. The simple past is the basic form of past tense in English. The time of the action can be in the recent past or the distant past, and action duration is not important. Example affirmative. I was in Japan last year. Example negative. We didn't have any money. Example interrogative. Were they in Iceland last January? Last next night. Next slide. Well, I will explain how to formulate the simple past tense. Example positive sentence. Subject plus verb to plus adverb of time. Subject, Ayu Dewi. Verb to, the word work as the addition at. For example, study become studied, play become played. Adverb of time, just now, yesterday, last night, and last year. Example negative sentence. Subject plus did not plus verb 1 plus adverb of time. Subject, you did not become didn't, verb to study plus adverb of time yesterday. Example, you didn't study yesterday. Example interrogative sentence. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus adverb of time. Karena dia bertanya, jadi kalimat did-nya ditaruh di awal kalimat.
Next, we have simple future tense, and Siti Fatima will explain to us about simple future tense.
Okay, I will explain about simple future tense. So the simple future tense is used for an action that will occur in the future. How to forming the simple future tense? First, the simple future tense is formed will plus base form of the verb. For example, she will play and Martin will came. Next, if you need the negative version, you can use will not plus base form of the verb. And for example, the Moscow State Circus will not perform next year. Next, if you want to add question, you can use will plus subject plus base form of the verb. For example, will the Moscow State Circus perform in Centelham next year? Next, if you want to ask question with words like what, how, when, and other else, you can use question word plus will plus. Next slide. Next, if you want to ask a question with choice question, you can use will plus check plus the verb plus choice A plus or plus choice B. And for example, will the Moscow State Circus perform in Oxford or Cambridge? Next, I will tell you about contraction with the simple future tense. You can see on the slide how to write it. I will, he will, she will, you will, we will, and they will. Okay, that's it about the future.
Okay, thank you, Siti Fatima. And now we have degrees of comparison, and I will explain to you about what is degrees of comparison. Degrees of comparison is an adjective of quality, changes its form when it is used to compare one noun with another. It is called the degrees of comparison of an adjective. There are three degrees of comparison, and there are the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. Degrees of comparison are used when we compare one person or one thing with another. First, positive degree. When we speak about only one person or thing, we use the positive degree. For examples are, this house is big and he is a tall student. And second, comparative degree. When we compare two persons or two things with each other, we use both the positive degree and comparative degree. For example, this house is bigger than that one. This is the comparative degree one. And this house is not as big as that one. And this is the positive degree one. The term bigger is comparative version of the term big. Both the sentences convey the same meaning. And third, superlative degree. When we compare more than two persons or things with one another, we use all the three positive, comparative, and superlative degrees. For examples are, this is the biggest house in the street. This is the superlative one. This house is bigger than any other house in the street. This is the comparative one. And no other house in the street is as big as this one. And this is the positive one. The term biggest is the superlative version of the term big. All the three sentences mean the same meaning. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. And now we have passive voice, and my friend Rida Ardia will explain to us about passive voice.
Okay, here I will explain about passive voice. The passive voice is used to show interest in the person or object that explains an action rather than the person or object that perform the action. In other words, the most important thing or person becomes the subject of the sentence. Example, the passive voice is asked frequently. We are interested in the passive voice, not in who asks it. Jadi kami tertarik dengan kalimat pasif, bukan siapa yang menggunakannya. Yang kedua, the house was built in 1654. We are interested in the house, not in who built it. Jadi kita tertarik dengan rumahnya, bukan siapa yang membangunnya. Yang ketiga, the road is being repaired. We are interested in the road, not in the people who are doing the repairs. Jadi kami tertarik pada jalannya, bukan pada orang yang melakukan perbaikan. Okay, next. The passive voice is often used in formal text. Switching to the active voice will make your writing clearer and easier to read. Untuk kalimat pasif ada a great deal of meaning is conveyed by a few well-chosen words. Untuk kalimat aktif ada a few well-chosen words convey a great deal of meaning. Pasif yang kedua, our planet is wrapped in a mass of gases. Untuk kalimat aktifnya, a mass of gases warp around our planet. Yang ketiga ada waste material are disposed of in a variety of ways. Dan kalimat aktifnya, the city dispose of waste material in a variety of ways. Oke, next slide. Forming the passive voice. The passive voice in English is composed of two elements. The appropriate form of the verb to be plus past participle. Nah, di dalam tabelnya ini ada afirmatif, negatif, interrogatif, dan negatif interrogatif. Untuk afirmatifnya, yang pertama ada the house was built in 1899. Untuk kalimat negatifnya ada the house wasn't built in 1899. Untuk interrogatifnya ada was the house built in 1899. Dan untuk negatif interrogatifnya, wasn't the house built in 1899. Terus afirmatif yang kedua, this house were built in 1899. Untuk kata negatifnya, this house weren't built in 1899. Interrogatifnya, were this house built in 1899? Dan negatif interrogatifnya, weren't this house built in 1899?
Okay, thank you, Rida. And from the discussion, we can conclude that grammar is the set of structural rules governing the composition of clauses, phrases, and words in a natural language. In this opportunity, we just explain about simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense, degrees of comparison, and passive voice. So that we should learn English more, read more books, try to understand kinds of sentence in English, the meaning and the structure, so we can speak English properly. That's all from us. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.